30 interlocking gears. That's it. No silicon, no electricity, no screen. Just bronze wheels, precisely cut, meshing together inside a corroded lump of rock. This is the Antikythera Mechanism, a device that fell from a shipwreck off Greece in 1900 after a storm blew a boatload of sponge divers off course. They found it by accident, but what they pulled from the sea was no ordinary artifact. It was a computer built around 100 BCE, 2,000 years before the modern era. And here's the twist: it worked. It predicted the positions of the sun, moon, and planets. It tracked the cycles of eclipses. It even accounted for the irregular motion of the moon. By every measure, it was a triumph of engineering, and that is what makes it so unsettling. Because if the ancient Greeks could build this, what else did they know? How did they do it? And why did it take us 2 millennia to catch up? The answers are surprising, and they begin with a single question. How did a 2,000-year-old computer end up at the bottom of the sea? Picture this. You are a sponge diver off the coast of Greece in the year 1900. A storm has blown your boat off course, forcing you to shelter near the tiny island of Antikythera. When the sea calms, you dive for sponges. But instead, your hand brushes something else. A corroded lump of bronze and wood, encrusted with 1,000 years of ocean. You bring it to the surface. The artifact is a mess. A single hunk of rock-hard sediment, cracked and green with oxidation. Inside, barely visible, are the faint outlines of gear teeth. 30 interlocking gears, more complex than any device for the next 1,000 years. Yet no one knows what it is. The archaeologists who first see it guess it is a clock, or maybe an astrolabe. They are wrong. But they are also right. The device sits in a museum, ignored. For 2 years, no one seriously studies it. Why? Because it does not fit. Ancient Greece had no such technology. No one had ever built anything like this. So the lump is dismissed as a curiosity, a freak accident of history. But the question remains, how did a civilization without electricity, without steel, without a single surviving blueprint, build a machine that tracks the stars? And why was it left to rot on the ocean floor? For years, the corroded bronze lump sat in a museum storeroom. No one knew what it was. Divers had pulled it from a Roman shipwreck, but archaeologists dismissed it as a broken clockwork toy. They had no reason to suspect it was anything more. But then, in the early 1900s, a researcher took a closer look. He noticed something impossible. The device contained 30 interlocking gears, more complex than any mechanism built for the next 1,000 years. That single observation changed everything. The gears were not random. They were arranged in precise ratios, designed to track the movements of the sun, moon, and planets. Yet the question remained, how could ancient Greeks have crafted such precision? The device was a computer before the word existed. But why did it take so long for science to recognize it? Because the technology seemed to belong to a future that hadn't arrived yet. The mechanism was too advanced for its time, and therefore too easy to overlook. What hidden gears could possibly justify calling? You hold 30 interlocking bronze gears in your hands. That's all that remains of a machine built 2,000 years ago, yet it tracks the sun, the moon, and the planets with a precision that would not be matched for another millennium. The Antikythera Mechanism is not a simple clock. It is a mechanical cosmos. Turn the main crank. Gears spin, each tooth meshing with the next, transferring motion through a labyrinth of axles and pinions. One gear rotates once per year. Therefore, the device could predict when the moon would darken the sun, or when Earth's shadow would fall across the moon. It even marked the color of the coming eclipse. A bronze pointer would indicate whether the event would be clear or blood red. But how did they calculate the irregular motion of the moon? The Greeks knew the moon speeds up and slows down. So the mechanism uses a pin and slot device, a subtle, almost modern differential gear to mimic that variation. The result, a moving dial that shows the moon's true uneven path across the sky. Yet only a third of the original survives. The rest is lost to corrosion and time. So the question remains, who had the knowledge and the tools to craft such intricate engineering? The clues are scattered across time. A name here, a fragment there. Cicero wrote of a bronze device built by Archimedes that modeled the heavens. Another name surfaces: Hipparchus, the greatest astronomer of antiquity. The mechanism's lunar theory matches his calculations precisely. Yet no ancient text describes a machine with 30 interlocking gears, more complex than any device for the next 1,000 years. That complexity implies a workshop, a tradition, a school of engineering that understood differential gearing, epicyclic motion, and the mathematics of the cosmos. But where is the evidence? Only 1/3 of the original remains. The rest is lost, either dissolved in seawater or scattered across the seafloor. So we are left with a ghost. A single artifact that suggests an entire lost industry of precision mechanics. They took knowledge, but not this knowledge. The technology simply vanished. No successor, no descendant, no mention in any surviving text. How did the most advanced machine of antiquity disappear without a trace? That is the question that pulls us forward. The sea does not preserve. For 2,000 years, the Antikythera Mechanism lay buried in sediment, salt water, eating through its bronze. When divers finally brought it to the surface, the corrosion had already done its work. Only fragments remained. 1/3 of the original device. The rest, gone. Therefore, every reconstruction is an educated guess. You hold the surviving pieces in your hands, a few dozen gear fragments, some inscribed plates, the faintest traces of text. But the missing 2/3 could have held anything: planetary models, lunar phase indicators, perhaps even a mechanism to predict the color of an eclipse, a detail the Greeks believed foretold war or famine. The clues are scattered across time. Ancient writers mention complex automata, self-moving statues, mechanical birds, but none describe a device like this. So why did the technology vanish? The shipwreck itself offers one answer. A single catastrophe could erase a lifetime of craftsmanship. But the deeper mystery is cultural. Did the knowledge die with its maker? Or was it suppressed, forgotten, replaced by simpler methods? You stare at the fragments. They refuse to yield their secrets. And that raises the final question. Could modern science ever recreate what was lost? You hold the corroded fragments in your hands. Only 1/3 of the original remains, yet scientists dared to rebuild it. They mapped every gear tooth, every inscription, every broken edge. Then they machined new bronze gears, identical in size and spacing. The replica clicked to life. It tracked the sun, the moon, the planets. It predicted eclipses with stunning accuracy. It even marked the dates of the Olympic Games. But here is the mystery that deepens. How did ancient hands cut those teeth without modern lathes? How did they conceive of differential gearing, a concept lost for over 1,000 years? The replica proves it worked. It proves they understood the cosmos with mathematical precision. Yet it does not prove how they built it. The tools are gone. The plans are dust. The craftsmen left no names. So the replica becomes a mirror. It reflects our own ingenuity back at us. We marvel at what they achieved. But we also confront what we have lost. What does this 2,000-year-old computer teach us about human ingenuity? So how did they do it? The answer lands like a hammer on bronze. They didn't invent the computer, they remembered it. The Antikythera Mechanism is not a leap forward, it's a fragment of a lost tradition. A tradition so advanced that when it sank, the knowledge sank with it. That's the real mystery. Not how they built it, but why we forgot. The lesson cuts deeper than any gear. Every civilization thinks it stands at the peak of progress, but the past keeps turning up artifacts that don't fit the timeline. The Antikythera Mechanism is a warning. History is not a straight line. It's a shipwreck, and we're still picking through the debris. What else lies on the ocean floor, waiting to rewrite everything we think we know? Next time, we dive into a different kind of wreckage, the hidden monopoly that controlled the world's most valuable commodity for centuries. A fortune built on salt, blood, and silence.